I'm going to invite you to find your way to a standing position and notice what's under your feet. So make sure that if you decide that you want to adjust what's under your feet right now, if it doesn't feel good, you can take, yourself to a different material. Maybe you don't want to be on a carpet, you want to be on a flat floor. If you haven't already, take your socks off if that feels comfortable for you, if your feet are warm enough. And my invitation here is to just start to kind of like shift your weight around in your feet, kind of just shifting weight, maybe just gently from side to side, and maybe even forward and back, and maybe around in circles. And maybe you can find the edges of your feet really slowly and begin to just move around in circles, or just the side to side. And as we're moving around to explore the edges of our feet, you're going to keep those knees soft, of course. Your hips are kind of moving around because that's the way we move our weight around, right? And we're going to allow for maybe even just kind of hanging out in one place or another that feels like a good idea for you to pay even more attention to how your weight is dropping into that part of your foot. And start to wiggle your toes extra. Kind of see how you can lift the toes up and then push the toes back down into the earth so that you're really activating and kind of like trying to dig into the earth with your toes as if you were standing in sand. So just see how much action you can get into your toes here, curling into the earth with your toes. Great. So now I'm going to invite you to plant your feet strongly into the earth, really push into the earth with your feet. Keep your knees bent and start to just bounce a little bit. See if you can give yourself permission to just vibrate out a little bit. Keep the feet grounded and imagine that you're receiving a little bit of energy, a little electricity coming up from the earth into your body through your feet. And just see how it might make your body move a little bit. It might be subtle, it might be a little bit more than subtle. See how it wants to move into your shoulders, even into your neck, your head a little bit maybe. A little bouncy, 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 bouncy. Whew. So we're going to make our way into a little bit more breath. We're going to work with our breath of joy. So this is going to be that 3-point breath. I'm going to invite you to start to just kind of bounce your knees and swing your arms gently. And breath of joy is a 3-part inhale and a 1-part exhale. So we're sipping the breath one on top of the other. And I like to swing my arms forward, out, and up on those 3 breaths, and then just swing them down on the exhale. So let's do this without the body, actually. Let's just swing forward, out, and up, and exhale, just drop them down. Forward, out, and up, just drop them down. Exhale. If it's natural for you, you can add a forward swing on the exhale. Stay aware of your feet, noticing how you're pushing into the earth with your feet, bending your knees, bouncing gently with the breath. 3 inhales, 1 exhale, swinging the arms in whatever way it feels natural for you. Let's bring our arms overhead now, or in any position that you can extend your arms. So we're extending through our elbows in any position we can. We're extending through our legs and we're reaching up. We're finding our personal, unique, and individual shape of Utthita Tadasana right now. Extended mountain pose. Stretch through your elbows, stretch through your fingers, and stretch through your toes into the earth. Stretch into your heels. Reach into the earth with your feet. Reach to the stars with your fingers, or reach out into the ether, extending in whatever trajectory your arms are opening. Breathing even more deeply here. On an exhale, we're going to find our side stretch. So we're going to let the feet come to a neutral position. If they don't feel neutral, neutralize your feet. And then drop the right arm at your side and take the left arm either up overhead, or if you're not comfortable working with that position, find another place for your left arm. Open up the left side body. We're breathing into that left lung. We're pushing down into the left foot strongly, and we're sending as much energy up and away as possible through the left side body. Pushing down into the left foot and stretching up through the left side body, activating the left big toe. Push the left big toe even more strongly down into the earth here. On an in-breath, soften the knees and stretch both arms overhead. Big breath in, exhale, take the hands behind the back. Let's give the shoulders a little stretch. Maybe the hands are going to interlace here behind the back. Maybe we're just going to reach the hands down. Maybe we're going to grab the back of our shirt. We're going to invite the shoulder blades to come together behind the heart now. Maybe the hands are touching, maybe not. If you're comfortable interlaced, you might find Kali Mudra, where the index fingers extend away. Let the head fall forward. Take a few breaths here. Filling the shoulders with the breath. Activating strongly into the floor with your feet. Wiggle your toes again. Notice, are you activating your weight, or is your weight leaning forward into your feet? Are you leaning back into your heels? Can you find something that feels even more equanimous, even more balanced in the way that you activate your feet? Inhaling, the right arm reaches up, the left arm stays long and heavy. We'll find that right side body stretch now, working with the right arm in any way or position that makes sense to you. We're lifting up through the heart space and opening up that right side of the body to the breath. Filling the right lung with the breath. You could even place your left hand on your right lung and feel the breath move in to the right lung. So you would just drop the right arm star, or place the right hand at your hip and use your left hand on your right lung, right rib cage, falling away from it. So the head falls to the left, and we're breathing into the right side body. Left ear towards the left shoulder. we'll take both arms overhead, stretching tall now, reaching once again in Utthita Tadasana, and then exhaling. We'll bring the palms to the heart space for a moment, just pausing. Invite action between the palms so that you feel a sense that your shoulders are settling into place, that your back muscles are engaging. And we'll place the palms just across in front of the heart, but they don't even have to be touching the body. Maybe they're just a little bit away from the body, so we can feel a sense of connection here in the upper spine. And we're going to match the energy that we're pressing into our palms with the energy that we're pushing into the earth here. And we'll take just a few breaths, observing the sensations in the body, breathing deeply, activating palms together at the midline, and equally activating down into the earth through your feet, down through the legs. Feeling a natural upward energy through the abdomen. Notice the belly button drawing in and up naturally. So we're going to make our way now into a little balance work. If you're comfortable in working with Vriksasana, tree pose, you can start to shift weight into your right foot and place the left heel at your right ankle bone. If you're interested in adjusting yourself in the room so that you can be at a wall with your right hand at a wall, or even with your back against a wall, please feel free to do so. We're going to start by placing the left heel onto the right ankle bone. You were using the left foot like a kickstand, and we're pushing down into the earth with those left toes. I'm going to give an extra bit of view on the feet here. So the left heel is pressing against the right ankle bone. The left ball and toes of the foot are on the floor. And I can lift my left toes and ball of the foot by flexing the left ankle. My heel and ankle stay in the same position. See that? So consider the possibility right now that you equally press into the floor with both feet, and you equally squeeze ankle and heel together. And then maybe the toes flutter off the floor and you can find your balance for just a moment without having to have the ball and toes on the floor. And then you can just drop them back down again. So I'm going to suggest that you maintain the palms together at the heart space here. And when and if you choose to open the arms or extend them, do so with equal energy that you're pushing into the earth with that right foot. See if you can lift your right big toe and then push it back down into the earth even more. Activating your roots down into the earth for balance. As you activate more strongly with your feet, you will be able to find a natural upward energy that invites balance. And the arms can extend. We can grow our branches in Vriksasana. The branches might blow in the wind, and that's okay. You may lose your balance, and that's perfect. Allow yourself to explore whatever variation of Vriksasana that works for you. I will recommend that the only place you do not place your left foot is on the right knee. So it must go above the knee if you're so inclined, or below the knee on the calf muscle. And take your time engaging your drishti, your focal point, straight across the room. And when you're feeling complete, give yourself an opportunity to kind of bounce it out again. Shake it out. Let the body move, release the hips, the knees, the ankles. Do whatever feels right to you. Shake it out, roll it out, twerk it out. Shimmy it out. Do the hokey pokey. Alright, and so now let's make our way back to something that feels neutral. So you can bring your palms together, root down through your feet again, activate those toes, find your drishti, and employ all those bits and pieces we worked with on the other side. This time, you're going to take your right heel to your left ankle bone, or whatever side you didn't do last time. You're going to activate the heel and the ankle strongly together, squeezing towards the midline with the same energy that you're pressing the palms together, you're pressing the ankles together. And then maybe the right toes flutter and test their balance, but the ankles and stay connected, strongly squeezing together. Pushing into that left big toe and lifting up through the midline of the body, finding whatever variation of Vriksasana is emerging for you today. Remember, maybe there's a hand at a wall. Maybe your back is against a wall. Maybe you never take the ball of the foot off the floor. Finding whatever variation of Vriksasana is natural for you in this moment. Equal and opposite energies. If you find yourself falling, it's probably because one energy became stronger than the other. Come on back to center, give it a try again, see what emerges for you. The beauty here is that as trees, if we fall, we get to come back up again. Hi, Nan, welcome. So we're taking our time here, finding our way through whatever variation and exploration of tree feels fun, natural to you, until you lose your balance and you're done and you want to shake it out and let it go and release. However, it's natural for you. So I give you permission to make some noise. Remember, you're all muted here. Stick out your tongue. Let's make our way into 5-pointed star. So we've warmed up our legs a little bit with the balancing poses. We're going to stretch into an open stance here with our toes forward and our heels back, our arms outstretched, our fingers and palms open. Imagine you have vectors of energy with arrows reaching down the outside of your legs and rooting into the earth through the outside edges of your feet. Imagine there are vectors of energy coming up through the inner arches, up through the inner thighs, up through the midline of the body, and then out through the arms, from the heart space, extending outward in all directions. Palms open, fingers open, heart open. Keep sending energy down into the earth through the outside of your feet and feeling what rebounds up through you, extending outward in this exchange of energy through your feet with the earth. Wiggle your toes, push into the earth and stretch out. Remember the tree image here. The deeper you grow your roots, the more expansive the tree becomes, right? One more big breath here. Push even more strongly into the earth with your feet. Stretch even further out with the arms. And go ahead and relax. Just sort of melt for a moment. Let the elbows and the knees soften. Bring your hands to your hips. We're going to draw the ankles in a little bit, rotating the heels in a little bit, and we're going to possibly separate the feet a little wider as we bend our knees. The toes are going to align with the knees. So as we bend our knees, we're going to invite the toes to be in the direction of the knees. We're not going to try to bring the knees more open. We're going to bring the toes into the knees. We're going to invite the knees and the ankles to be on top of each other, one on top of the other. In goddess pose, we're going to invite our elbows ultimately to be at approximately our shoulder height. Our palms are open. And once again, we're going to push into the earth with our feet. We're going to wiggle our toes. We're going to dig into the earth with our feet for strength here. We're going to keep pushing with our feet, and elbows are at shoulder height, palms are open. Let's reach open with our fingers and our palms with the same energy. We're pushing into the earth with our feet. One more big breath here. We're going to exhale and we're going to stick out the tongue and make some noise. Big breath in. Push into the earth, stretch your arms, grow your branches, deepen your roots, and then relax your arms. Toe heel your feet slowly, carefully back towards center, moving carefully, knowing and honoring the way that you're connecting your feet to the earth here, and make your way into a little gentle movement that's going to help you feel more neutral. Maybe a little marchy thing is good. Maybe just a little rolly steppy thing. Maybe something, something that's going to wake us up and let our arms swing from side to side a little bit. Whatever feels good to you, just get some movement in the body that gives you a sense that you can kind of like recenter. And then while you're warmed up and movie and jiggly and jello-y, bring yourself to a wall or a counter and place your hands on top of it at about hip height. Walk your feet back and pull your pelvis back. Notice my knees are bent here. We're going to draw ourselves hips back and open arms, open armpits in a down dog at the counter or down dog at a wall. So hands are at about hip height. And we're resting the weight of the skull. So we're not tucking the chin, we're just letting the head relax, the neck relax. We're opening the armpits to the breath. We're inviting the armpits to actually open to the breath here. Breathing deeply, knees are bent deeply, heels are heavy. This is where we get into our feet. We're going to lift and lower the toes a few times. So Star, you can be doing this and working with your feet and just have your hands at your chest height in front of you if you'd like, and step your feet back and just get into your legs. This is an opportunity to get into your ankles and your calves in whatever way that feels nice and safe to you. Wonderful. So take your time here. We're luxuriating in this opportunity to dig into our feet, into our hips, into our low back a little bit. We can maybe even shift weight from one heel to the other, giving ourselves a gentle stretch into one hip and the other. Give yourself permission to really enjoy this. Whenever it feels complete for you, begin to roll up through the spine and walk your feet super slow motion back towards your hands, at which point I'm going to invite stillness. This is where I'm going to invite you to simply come to stand and rest in stillness. Wherever you are, you don't have to adjust yourself. You're perfect. I don't need to see you. You don't need to see me. Just stand. Rest your eyes, rest your shoulders, your arms at your side. Imagine that you are a classroom skeleton hanging from the top of your skull. Just relax. Give yourself permission to be still. Give your bones permission to hold you. As you experience this stillness, I'm going to just use the gong a few times. So I'm going to invite you to keep digging your awareness into your feet, their connection to the earth, and the sensations of stillness. Just a few more breaths. Beautiful. I'll invite you to slowly bring your eyes open if they aren't already, to bring some movement to your body. We're going to transition now to a seated position so that we can, I think at this point, I'm looking at the time, I think at this point we're going to just take one seated forward fold, and then we're going to get onto our back so that we can release our hips, massage our feet, and get into our Yoga Nidra. So we're making our way now toward where we have our massage stuff and our props and comfort for the last part of our practice. As we shift, we're going to take a forward fold, and I'm going to invite you to bring in a pillow and to bend your knees. We're going to all bend our knees and place a pillow underneath our knees. Underneath our knees, our knees are bent. Our legs are extended. We could be doing this on a bed or on the floor, whatever you're comfortable with. And we're going to take our index fingers. We're going to work with something, a mudra called yogi toe lock. So with our feet flexed, our knees bent and supported with this prop under the knees, we're going to slide our index fingers in between our big toes and the next toe. And we're going to hook it up with our thumb like we're making an OK symbol. All right, so the index and the thumb are going to come together around the big toe. The rest of the fingers can curl in instead, okay? So we're grabbing our big toes, yogi toe lock, and we're going to bring the heart space forward and encourage the tailbone back. And we might even shift very subtly from side to side as we invite the sit bones and the tailbone backwards and the heart space forward. Again, the knees are bent, the toes are flexing. We're holding on to our big toes. If it's not comfortable for you to reach your toes with your index fingers, then grab a big sock or a strap or anything at all and wrap it around your feet. Give yourself the extra inches that you need, all right? So we're just bending our knees enough that we can hold on to our big toes, and then we're just going to allow the body to release and relax in this forward fold. The shoulders are dropping away from the ears. We're holding our big toes and we're reaching gently through the heels. The backs of the legs are supported with that pillow. Breathing deeply here into the back side of the body. If you're more inclined to bring some movement in here, you can start to just move with the breath. Inhale to rise up, and exhale, you can fall forward over your bent knees, keeping your feet flexed. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to fold forward. Whatever variation of access to this forward fold feels yummy to you now. Allow your body to explore this gentle stretch. Knees are bent and supported with a prop underneath them. Feet are flexed. And just a few more breaths here. When it feels complete for you, we're going to be transitioning slowly towards our backs. We're going to lay onto our backs now. So maybe you're in a position where you can slowly roll down. Maybe you need to move some things or make some adjustments. Go ahead and take yourself onto your back slowly in any way that feels right to you. Let your feet stay flat on the floor, your knees bent. And let's just arrive resting our left hand to our heart and our right hand to our belly. And allow some time to breathe into the back side of the body and arrive. I'll invite you to gather your knees into your chest now, sliding your fingers behind the knee joint, resting your elbows at the mat on your sides. Elbows at your sides, resting against the mat. The knees are dropping in towards the hands. Maybe they fall open subtly. We're relaxing the legs and just letting them be heavy in the hands. The elbows resting at our sides. Maybe it feels perfect to just keep hanging out here and letting the legs kind of move about a bit. Maybe it feels even better to you to open into a happy baby stretch, or to take your index fingers to your big toes again with yogi toe lock and stretch the legs around like a happy baby. Give yourself permission here to just relax and surrender, giving the back side of the body a chance to melt into the earth. Giving the groins, the hips, the inner thighs a chance to completely relax. Whatever way, shape, or form is completely organic and natural to you here. Maybe it feels good to bend the knees in and gently play catch with the knees. Let them kind of fall from hand to hand a little bit, from side to side. Maybe you'll like the idea of holding the knees in towards the chest for a few breaths and then releasing the left leg long and extending that left leg long and heavy for a few breaths. As you just rest and observe the right hip. And while we do this gentle release of the spine and the low back and the hips, we can also remember the feet. So maybe we notice, are we relaxed in the feet? Are we flexing the feet? Do we want to rotate the ankles here for some reason? Just notice the feet. Consider transitioning and working with the other knee to chest while dropping the right leg long. As we hold the left knee in, we might choose to place a prop under the right thigh. That's always an option. If you're ever feeling strain in a joint, put a prop under that bone. Support the heavy bone that's causing strain in the joint. Breathing deeply here, relaxing the pelvis, relaxing the groins. Again, activating the feet, flexing, or maybe circling the feet a little bit. And we're going to gather the right knee into the chest here. We're going to draw the knees completely in, and again, gently rock from side to side, checking in to see how things feel in this moment, in that low back, in that sacral space. So we're going to move into just a little bit more hip opener, and as we work with the hip opener, we're going to be shifting into our foot massage. So we're going to keep loving our feet as we continue to gently relax the right hip. The left foot's going to find the floor here. We're going to just drop the left foot flat to the floor. The right ankle is going to rest across the left knee or thigh. And we're going to flex the right foot and encourage the right knee away from the body for a few breaths. We're just starting to open the right hip in this ankle to knee. So this is where we can start to move into our foot massage. If you are choosing to use an ointment or massage oil, go ahead and put a small bit into your hands and start to put it all over your foot to begin. And then we're going to begin with our toes. So you can also, I'll recommend that if you have a block and you want to have easier access to your foot, your left foot might want to sit up onto a block so that the left knee is bringing your right foot closer to you. See what I mean? Your left foot, your bent knee, can be resting on a prop so that it naturally lifts the knee and brings the foot closer to your body. I want to make sure that you're using your prop so that you're avoiding strain. The last thing we want to do is be straining our shoulders or our neck as we're trying to give ourselves some foot love. So if this doesn't work for you laying on your back, honor your body wisdom. You might choose to come to sit and do this with your right ankle crossing over your left knee in a chair. You might also just keep playing with the way that you can prop yourself. Maybe a pillow is going to need to happen underneath your head for more ease. So we're going to start with our toes. We're going to start with the pinky toe and just give that pinky toe some gentle squeezes and some little massaging access around the inside edge of the pinky. So we're going to kind of squeeze the outside and inside edge of the pinky toe, and we're going to squeeze the top and the bottom of the pinky toe, and we're going to maybe even give that pinky toe a little tug. And of course, you don't have to be following what I'm saying. I'm just going to give you some guidance, but please just do your thing, whatever's natural for you. Making your way up through your toes if that feels good to you, giving each toe a little individual attention. On the sides and the tops and the bottoms, maybe even a little tug. Making sure we check in into the space between the toes down in that little spot, that little swoopy spot. Don't forget that one. So we're giving each individual toe a little bit of love here, some squeezes, some tugs. Just really bringing our attention to the entirety of each toe. And ultimately to the big toe, at which point we can start to maybe slide our fingers between the toes and see if we can separate all our toes, kind of web them out a little bit, give them the opportunity to spread out a little bit more, use our fingers in between our toes. And then maybe we're going to start to use our thumbs along the sole of the foot and just kind of press gently along the midline of the foot. You may find spots where they feel a little more sensitive than others, and that's a spot where you could just pause and breathe and ask your body what it's telling you right now, because the foot is a map to your whole entire body. So those thumbs are just kind of making their way around the sole of the foot, down the midline, and then around the edges. And then the thumbs might be kind of pinching up along the outside of the ankle, the heel, the Achilles tendon area. You might want to just start to shift to like full-on piano fingers at this point, and walk your fingers around the top of your foot and around your ankle and up across the top of your calf muscle, your shin. You might squeeze your fingers into the calf muscle here, the space where the two calf muscles bifurcate. So if you bring your fingers down the middle of the back of your calf toward your Achilles tendon and then back up toward your the back of your knee, that could feel quite delicious. And then go ahead and shake out the leg a little bit and place it lovingly to the floor and shift to your other foot. Let's make our way to the other foot if you haven't already. Bringing our attention to the toes of the left foot. And again, you don't have to be following exactly what I'm suggesting. Most importantly, you're working with your own body wisdom and honoring your feet. So why the feet? This is my time to stop telling you what to do and telling you why we're doing this. Instinctively, you all know how important your feet are, and yet we tend to ignore them. Like maybe we paint our toes every once in a while to make them pretty, but a lot of the times we ignore our feet, and we forget that they are in fact our very foundation and our actual connection to the earth. And when we lose access to our feet or even to a toe, it actually shifts everything about our ability to walk. Changes everything, right? Changes our whole perspective. We could stub a pinky toe and everything's different. But it's this teeny tiny little thing, right? And half the time we don't pay attention to it at all. So this is just my shout out to our feet, and an opportunity for us to pay more attention to the way that we are talking about our feet, thinking about our feet, acknowledging our feet, taking care of our feet, recognizing that our feet are a map to our whole body, and also access to detoxifying the whole body. We can give ourselves foot baths with Epsom salts and clay and draw toxins through our feet effortlessly, practically. In fact, luxuriously. We don't have to do some fancy fast or detox diet. We could give ourselves a foot bath. So anyway, love your feet. Take a few moments more here as you finish up working with your left foot, your left ankle, your left calf. This is a time where we're going to be transitioning into our Yoga Nidra. And so you can shake out your legs, shake out your feet, move your body any way that your body requires. So maybe it's like requesting a little windshield wiper motion, just a gentle rock from side to side, whatever. This is the time where I'm going to invite you to complete your foot massage and transition into a pose of Shavasana / Yoga Nidra. And as I mentioned in the beginning of our practice, I would recommend the possibility of your legs being elevated here in Shavasana. So if that's something that you're able to do by getting your legs up onto a stack of pillows or up onto a chair, a couch, or even a wall to get the legs all the way up, this is the time to make that transition. Also, wrapping the knees up is an essential aspect to full surrender in the hips and the low back. So if you have the ability to wrap your legs up, actually wrap them up with a blanket. So the idea is, or a strap or a scarf or a sweatshirt or whatever, but the idea is that you would actually wrap the legs together so that when you release the legs over onto the wall or onto your prop, you can relax all the muscles in your legs and your hips. You'll see when you wrap the knees together, that actually is a huge benefit to our ability to relax muscular tension in the hips. When the knees are not wrapped, there is a subtle muscular tension that is taking place in those hips. Whatever is comfortable for you. So these are all just suggestions. Like I said, your body wisdom is going to guide you exactly where you need to be. There's no right or wrong way to do this. All that's important is that you're comfortable. You can prop yourself up in bed with a bunch of pillows comfortably. Whatever is good for you. So I'm going to begin very shortly. If you have not already arranged yourself comfortably in this pose of extended meditation, I'll invite you to do so now. I'll remind you that it's important to wrap your knees, perhaps even to cover your eyes if you so choose. And to invite, most importantly, to invite support wherever the body is requesting it. I'll begin with a single gong, and we'll continue into this Yoga Nidra, which includes what's referred to as a rotation of consciousness. Your job is to simply listen to my words and follow as best you can, attempting to stay awake. Inviting your attention to the breath. Observing the natural ebb and flow of the breath. Observing the way that you have arranged your bones in this moment, and checking in, allowing for a little bit more melt with your next exhale. Simply noticing What's being held? Invite your attention and this invitation to melt to the top of your head, to the forehead, to the right eyebrow, to the left eyebrow, the right eye, the left eye, the right cheek, the left cheek, the tongue, the jaw, the right ear, the left ear, the whole face, the scalp, the back of the neck, the top of the right shoulder, the right upper arm bone, the right elbow, the right forearm, the right wrist, the right palm, the right pinky, ring finger, middle finger, index, the right thumb, the whole right hand, the whole right arm, the top of the left shoulder, the left upper arm bone, the left elbow, the left forearm, the left wrist, the left palm, the left pinky, ring, middle finger, the left index finger, the left thumb, the whole left hand, the whole left arm, the back of the ribs, the front of the ribs, the sternum, the solar plexus, the abdominal cavity, the pelvic bowl, the sacral space, the right femur, thigh bone, the right knee, the right lower leg bones, calf muscles, the right ankle,
the right heel, the sole of the right foot, the right big toe, the next toe, middle toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, the top of the right foot, the whole right foot, the whole right leg, the left thigh bone, the left knee, the left lower leg bone, and calf muscle, the left ankle, the left heel, the sole of the left foot, big toe, the left big toe, the next toe, the middle toe, the fourth toe, the pinky toe, the top of the left foot, the whole left foot, the whole left leg, observing our feet like the roots of a tree, our ankles, the base of the tree, and our feet and toes, the extensions of the roots outward in all directions. And we can feel whatever part of the body is currently connecting to the earth, where the bones there also are deepening taproots, growing taproots into the earth. And so not only the feet, but all the bones in the body are rooting into the earth, into the fertile soil of the early spring. We feel the richness of the soil. We can smell it. Dank, dark, wet, cold, waiting, holding. Pure potential. And our taproots continue to move into that nourishment without questioning whether it's the right thing to do. Just natural, organic connection and integration with source nourishment. And there's more than enough for everybody. Feeling the surge of this earth energy making its way into our bones. We may invite this rebound of energy, this embracing and integration of earth energy, and allow it to be expressed in the form of whatever tree or blossoming flower that might come to mind in this moment. That growth, that organic life that is naturally occurring in your mind, in your heart in this moment, might be blossoming through your feet themselves, might be blossoming through your fingertips, through your crown chakra, through your ears even. Allow this earth energy, this deep, nourishing potential to flow freely through your bones and express itself exactly as it wants to express itself in this moment. Inviting your attention to rest with the breath once again. And as you become reconnected to this particular physical vehicle, I invite you to maintain the image of yourself as a vibrant, deeply rooted, ever expanding life form, ever blossoming. And so perhaps the images of your fully expressed trees may carry with you today as you begin to reconnect to the environment around you, I'll invite you to bring those images with you into your day, into your awareness. And to continue to honor your feet and their connection to the earth with every step. It may feel right for you to remain exactly where you are and just allow yourself to drift into some resting time this morning. And it may feel right for you to come to a seated position and feel some closure. I'll just sit in silence for a few moments and see what naturally occurs. May the long-time sun shine upon you. May all love surround you. And may the pure light within guide you all the way on. Namaste.